I don't think I'm overreacted in saying this. It was a historical practice we saw at Halas Hall today. It was that good. It was that notable. We're going to talk about it right now. CHGO Bears Podcast starts right now. Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast. As always, CHGO training camp coverage presented and powered by Circus Sports Illinois. Download your new booking today at circusports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. And right off the top, I promise we'll get through this quickly, but we need to tell you because it's very urgent. We've kind of put this together a little last minute, but we wanted to get you something special for training camp with Circa. So come on out Friday. This is happening this Friday in just a few days. Friday's a huge day. It is Bears Dolphins joint practice. It's going to be awesome whether you're going to practice or not. Come on out to a live show we're having at Circa Sportsbook at American Place Casino. Again, it's this Friday, August 8th from 5 to 7 p.m. There'll be a 1-hour live show that we're going to do, post-practice show like we always do, followed by an opportunity to discuss the upcoming season with us. And you might want to place your pro football futures bets in person. One note, though, this event is 21 and plus only.
It's also free.
But it's free.
Free.
So there you go. And I know.
FREE.
Right. You got any prop bets you're eyeing after today's practice? Roschon Johnson over now?
Bears injuries on the over. No, it was a Roschon. You know what? That's a great one, actually. If I was on the Circus Sports app right now and I was going to take touchdowns, I would take the over on whatever Roschon's sitting at if that prop is available. In general,
goal line touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean,
it looked good when they were doing it.
Hey, Roschon, do you like getting the ball at the goal line? Yes, I do. Scoring touchdowns is sweet. And he's their best option down there as far as handing off the ball. There's little to no doubts about that.
I see we got some people watching live, hopefully just listening live on their commute home, but maybe you're not driving. Maybe you're on the train watching live. I've done that before. I like that. Gary Ross says it's great to see the guys getting after each other today. Yes, it was. We are going to jump into all of that. But again, just another reminder, Friday. So quick notice, we get it, but we hope you'll hang out with us Friday at Circa Sportsbook at American Place Casino. We've done a show from there before. It's an awesome place. If you don't know that it's there. It's in Waukegan. It's an awesome place. Come on out Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Great way to start your weekend with us. And again, it's 21 plus only. All right, let's jump into our best and worst from what I am going to say was a historical practice at Halas Hall. Carman is going to then
make some comments.
Pee in your Cheerios and disagree.
No, it was historical. It was legendary.
Shut up. All right. The best.
We'll never forget this practice.
I'm not. I'm not, because I'm going to compare it to some other practices I covered like 14 years ago that I still remember. It was
a phenomenal effort by the Bears today, putting it out there, laying it on the line. So I'm not taking anything away from it. I just, we're historical. Just seems like I don't know. It's going to go down in the history books, which seems just a little crazy to me. But I got it. It was by definition, as you explained to me. Go ahead. What's your best?
I yelled at you during the open that people couldn't hear. Too bad the mics weren't open. All right. So Ben Johnson got to the podium today before practice and said, "Hey, look, it's our last install. Short yardage and goal line today. The pads were on." I called this on the show yesterday, Carm.
You did.
The second we found out that they went to the beach on a field trip.
Go Cats.
I went straight instinctual football coach brain. I was like, if you are going to go field trip on Monday and off day on Wednesday, that means Tuesday is going to be a hard-ass day at work.
Yeah.
Just how football coaches work. We're going to give you a little bit of a break today. We're going to go on a little trip to the beach, and then we're going to give you a nice off day on Wednesday before the Dolphins come to town. But you better be ready to go because I hope you had a great beach day. This is going to be the hardest practice of all of training camp. And Ben Johnson said that he called it an important practice. I had a feeling going into it, and I was not expecting, as still with those expectations that even I had, I was not expecting that much live tackling in one practice. The reason why I'm calling it historical, and I was actually trying not to be hyperbolic. That's why one of my post-practice tweets isn't going viral like Brad Biggs's and Adam Jahns's and Pat Finley's and Courtney Cronin's, because I was like, all right, let me let this breathe for 10 minutes. When practice ended, I turned to you and I said, I think that was my favorite practice I've ever covered. I said that. What I wanted to tweet in the moment was that might have been the most physical practice I've ever covered. But in my head, I'm going through a Rolodex and I'm thinking back to Bourbonnais. Lovie Smith used to do these night practices at the stadium that was on the ONU campus. And I remember at least one of them, the pads being on, it being very physical, and us being able to talk to coaches like Daryl Drake right after practice was over. He actually delivered some
shout out Daryl Drake.
Yes, RIP Daryl Drake. He delivered a viral soundbite that I'm forgetting off the top of my head right now that they still play on the score all the time that night. And now I'm going to sound like Les Grobstein, but my microphone was the one that got that.
Damn right it was. Hoge was there.
At least for the score.
Grobber was there. Hoge was there.
Now I'm turning into Les. Damn it. I'm only 39 years old. This is.
Love you, Les. RIP.
Anyway, so I'm trying not to you lose perspective of some things, but then Brad Biggs tweeted it's been since the early Lovey years, he had not seen a practice that physical. And that's when the rules were completely different. So I absolutely loved it. I'm here for it. We're going to break down sort of the pros and cons of it a little bit more. We're going to hear from Ben Johnson. Adam Jahns is going to join us here in about 8 minutes too to talk about all this. So that was my best. The worst, Cole Kmet got hurt today. And no insider knowledge on this right now, just going off of what I saw with my eyes. I'm a little worried about it. I saw it sort of happen in the moment. He walked off to the trainers with his arm kind of dangling, and then they checked it out. And I've seen some of those tests before on Northwestern sidelines and stuff, so I'm kind of used to it. Now, I don't know anything. I don't want to cause any panic or anything like that. But what I do know about Cole Kmet is it takes a lot to get that guy off the practice field. It takes a lot for that guy to miss a rep, miss a practice. So the fact that it got to the point where they had to take him inside and we didn't see him again, it's just unlike Cole. So I don't know that we're going to get an update on him until Thursday, the next time, right? That's the next time Ben Johnson talked. He didn't talk till Friday, actually, I think. So
he's talking Friday.
It might be a few days before we get an update there. But yeah, I mean, of all the, I thought was mostly a fun, awesome day of camp. Seeing Cole go off like that
sucked.
Yeah, especially because he's a teammate of ours here at CSGO.
We love you, Cole.
So that's not great.
Yeah, I did not enjoy tweeting out that Cole Kmet's left the field and has not returned, and was visibly upset as he left the field as he was chucking his helmet. My best on the day it wasn't just the Bears tackling and the hitting and all of that. To me, to build on that, it was the reaction to the hitting and the tackling. Tyrique Stevenson saying, I want to practice this way every day. Roschon Johnson, yeah, if that's what he says, yeah, bring it on. Let's do this. I mean, it was, the Bears embraced the day. And it just to me, it just reeks more of a buy-in of Ben Johnson and what's going on. And, at the very start of practice, like it was every single day, Jaquan Brisker out there screaming his head off to start it. And it was just as violent could be at the goal line. There was Major Burns, the rookie out of LSU, chucked Joel Wilson in the back and just pushed him. It was like a WWE move. And he's screaming out at him, and the defensive sidelines yelling for him. It was, I mean, just some stuff that you like. That's a 15-yard penalty right there, dude. Not really, because I guess Wilson wasn't fully out of bounds, but it was just violent. The worst for me, two things. Both came from the center position. One, Doug Kramer. I didn't see who cracked into him, and I didn't even see it happen. But you heard just like the collision of helmet on helmet, and Kramer comes out of the pile, and he is visibly woozy. and just in trouble and does not get up well at all.
Wait, so is this different from when he was limping later?
No, it's the same thing.
Oh, I think he had a leg injury.
Nah, I think it was both, because when he got back to he made it back to the huddle, and then he got to the line of scrimmage, and then he bent down and he got right out of there. I don't think he was there. He should have, whether it was a leg injury or his head or whatever was going on, it was obvious he was not good enough to go, and the Bears let him stay out there, so he should have been pulled immediately. Kramer, give him credit for trying to carry on, but it was an uncomfortable moment of practice. I didn't enjoy it.
Okay.
I
thought he was just limping, and then he tried to stay in there, and then he realized as he went to the line of scrimmage to snap the ball that he couldn't.
Well, he was,
so then he pulled himself out.
If it was that, then he still should have been pulled earlier. It just was not. It was not a great job. They should have gotten him out of there. He was not well. The other part is my guy Luke Newman, Michigan State. They've been trying him out at center, and he's got some of the worst snaps I've ever seen. He's in the Cody Whitehair zone. The dude rolled one back to Tyson today that was like, oh my God, I honestly think I might be able to do better than that. I couldn't do worse. It was bad. So as far as Luke Newman being a viable candidate to be a backup center this year, I don't see it. So, and then Kramer's not having exactly the best camp either. Drew Dahlman, you better stay healthy.
Yeah, right here on my notes that I just highlighted for Carb. Worried about backup center.
Yeah.
Exclamation point.
Oh, you got it right there. There you go.
I'm with you, man. Drew Dahlman is quickly rising the list of the most important Bears for the 2025 season, because and he was already up there, but you've had Doug Kramer struggling to stay healthy at this point. I'll give Luke Newman a little bit of a break here, because he was playing left tackle 2 years ago at Holy Cross. He played left guard for Michigan State last year. He's playing center for the first time.
I'm not saying he eventually couldn't do it. He ain't ready right now.
I think the blocking's been okay, but the snapping has been a problem. So he's got to improve that. He's got some time here, but if that doesn't come along quick enough, Ryan Bates is the back. It might be your backup center then. Well, your best option there, and he hasn't been playing center much. He's been mostly playing guard.
No, and you're also asking a guy with an arthritic shoulder to step into that position, which might not be the most comfortable spot for him. But I will say this about Ryan Bates: he's been on the field a lot this camp. Yep. As far as his health concerned, this is the most we've seen him. So,
and he saw a lot of time with the ones today at right guard,
right? Because Jonah Jackson not available.
So he was out there too.
He was
maybe just a little bit limited.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sure they were load managing on what was a very physical day. Okay. I'm not really sure, but it's not just like, hey, Drew Dahlman's important, and I'm not sure they have a backup center, but it's also Caleb Williams' development.
Right.
And so all of a sudden you start asking somebody that's not proven at the position or doesn't, like, losing Drew Dahlman would suck anyway, but I'm not sure they have a viable backup. So I was actually thinking about this in the middle of practice today. I was like, this might be a spot where they might have to add somebody between now.
It's possible.
And like a backup center type before the season even starts. So just something to circle here on August 5th, obviously over a month ago until the opener.
Gary makes a good point. Ricky Stromberg is out as well.
He was actually out of practice today. I saw him.
And whoever put the super chat, or not the super chat, but it's the regular chat before that, Newman and Kramer. That's funny. There is the Seinfeld connection. That's a good call right there. Yeah. Well done.
So I want to get into the intensity in practice and the amount of hitting we saw today. Sort of the pros and cons of it with Adam Jahns. I think there'll be a good conversation coming up. I know we got a big super that came in that we want to get to before the break. Motor Music Michael, who's been all over the chat, the supers since training camp began. We greatly appreciate it. He jumps in here with a $50 super chat, going big on a big day at Halas Hall. Said, Carm, sorry I didn't thank you yesterday for all the shout outs. You are the king of the vibe checks. You know what's going on under the surface. I'm Team Carm all the way. Thanks for your coverage.
Look at my guy, Motor Music Michael. I was playing 99%, so you did not need to do that, but thank you so much for the super chat and appreciate you being on Team Carm. It is a great team, and we are expanding. So if you want to join me and Motor Music Michael, we are, you're welcome on board. Jump on the train.
Who's on the team? You, Tyson Bagent, Motor Music Michael,
Crystal.
Crystal's on the team.
Yeah, not Pizzatola. I'm gonna be sick.
You still need a 5th starter.
Yeah, we're Brodalicious, I think, is in there. Brodalicious was absolutely solid today in the Discord. You're on board there too, Jep. What's up, my man? Appreciate you. See the RSFN 20 to 10, my guy. It's
whatever that was you just said.
I can't see.
We know. All right. Adam Jahns, don't go anywhere because he's coming up next, and we're gonna have what I think is actually a very interesting conversation about what we saw today. I mean, we between the three of us, we've seen a lot of practices. We've seen practices in Bourbonnais. We've seen practices here. I can't say I was in Platteville, but those were different days with different rules and all this. So it's been a while since we saw what we did today, and I think it's very notable. So we're going to talk to Johnsy about that coming up next. But first,
shout out to our friends at Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Man, is it not the time of year for Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, Illinois' favorite dispensary. They've got an expertly curated menu for you, 100 strains to choose from, easy online ordering, in-store pickup as well. Love running down to the beautiful Sunnyside right there at Milwaukee Avenue in Deerfield. Expert guidance will take you through all the good stuff. Listen, visit sunnyside.shop. Do it right now for Bright Buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. You enter the promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions do apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright Buys every day, only for 21 and older or Illinois medical card holders. And for existing users, if you're already in there, use the promo code CHGO50 for 50% off one Cresco Labs brand item.
And unless you've been living under a rock, you already know that we're heading to Las Vegas with True Fan Travel. CHGO is taking over the Strip for an epic weekend in Vegas. You are invited as the Bears take on the Raiders. Got some news on this one. This thing technically sold out. Woo. We sold out the rooms at Mandalay Bay.
We want you to come.
So we got more rooms. The Luxor right next door, which is part of the same thing, I believe. There's a tram, the whole deal. We got more rooms there, so you can still come. This thing's going quick, though. Jump on this. Don't gamble on missing the ultimate fan experience. Book your spot now at truefantravel.com. Includes tickets to the game, VIP parties. We were discussing a couple things even this morning, some ideas. Might have some watch parties for football on Saturday. There's a lot happening. You want to be there. You want to go to Vegas with us. TrueFanTravel.com. Book it right now so you don't miss out. All right. Keeping things going here. A big day at Halas Hall. And Johnsy's here. And Steven's sending me Kevin Fishbane tweets, so I'm confused now. Yeah. Oh, the depth chart.
The depth chart is out, man.
Jahns, the depth chart is out. This is big.
You know what I looked at? Damn right I did. we got the unofficial depth chart has the unofficial backup quarterback in the right spot. Thank you very much. Number 2.
Would you have been like completely dismayed if there was an or there? Like, I've never seen a backup spot be like Tyson Bagent or Case Keenum.
He said here's another thing I love about Ben Johnson. We added to the long list.
Yeah.
He said today, I'm not doing ors. Get out of here with the ors.
Yeah.
It's a depth chart.
No ors. Yes, I would have freaked out, Adam. You're 100%. I would have freaked out, and I would have called up Bears PR and demanded an explanation. But I don't have to do that because they do a great job, and they know damn well who the backup quarterback is.
Because he's phenomenal.
Because that's right. I was going to ask that question 7, but since you guys went depth chart, I just got distracted. My bad.
All right, we'll add it to the rundown depth chart stuff. That's not why we're here. We are going to play Ben Johnson's comments on Tyson Bagent later on in the show. But Johnsy, let's talk about this. You and I and Carm too, we've seen a lot of practices, a lot of Bears practices over the years. And like just in my brain when practicing, I'm trying to go through a Rolodex of the most physical, like old school football practices that I've seen. The only thing I could think of was some of those night practices back at ONU, sort of in the later Lovey years. Brad Biggs obviously tweeted that he hadn't seen anything like that since the early Lovey years. So I think it's fair to say that might have been the most physical practice that we've ever seen the Bears execute since you and I started covering the team 14, 15 years ago. I mean, I don't think that's hyperbolic to say.
100%. It's not. You know what I remember the most, Adam, is like the disappointment is when you hear the coaches say the pads are coming on, that you're going to get some thud, like Matt Nagy used to say, or this is going to be the most physical day that we've had. We got a goal line period coming up, whether it's John Fox or Mark Trestman, and then just being so disappointed that it was just like 1 or 2 or 3 plays, and sometimes it was the backups, just a handful of plays, no more than 10. To see the Bears go that long during their short yardage and their goal line periods, they backed up to one another. It felt like just a long practice of hitting. It just felt needed. It felt like overdue, like something I've never covered before. And if you're a head coach trying to like set a tone, like today was the practice to obviously do it, because he apparently, to Nashon Wright, there was only supposed to be 1 live period. It turned into an entire live practice.
It was crazy. And tell me where you're at mid-practice, Jahns, because there have been times where you start to feel things get a little bit over the top. You start to see some pushing, shoving. You see one scrum, and then the next thing you know, Kyle Long swinging a helmet at Akeem Hicks or something. Apparently, Kyle's going to be at practice Friday, so we're going to have to bring that up to him.
All right. Let's talk tennis, too. That guy's got a great swing. Keep going.
Today felt like it was on the verge of getting to that point. Now, there was one thing I'll bring up here in a second that I didn't like, and I don't think Ben Johnson's going to like. But I will tell you that where my head was at, as it sort of kept escalating, and we were seeing some guys get banged up, and Cole Kmet actually left practice, I was still in the mindset of good. Keep this thing going. Don't back off the pedal. You are the Chicago Bears. You haven't earned anything. If you want to be the Kansas City Chiefs and take your foot off the gas because you've proven a lot, this team isn't there yet, and I think that this was too important of a moment for Ben Johnson, who's still making his own first impressions on this team, to keep the foot on the gas throughout the end of practice, and that's what I saw.
I felt like an identity coming together, and that may be getting way too far ahead of myself, but it's part of the identity that Ben Johnson wants his team to have. He wants them to be aggressive. He wants them to be physical. It's football. It should be aggressive, right? It should be physical. They should get used to tackling. So to see it continued, and I'm sure he didn't like seeing like the 4th scrimmage. By the time that happened, he was running in there, to break it up. I'm sure he had enough of them going back and forth, at least in that manner. But the hitting, he kept live. He kept it throughout the entire practice, which stood out to me again in just so many different ways, because it's something that we've never covered before, and just because of all the disappointment before of hearing they're going to go live and never really seeing it.
Where are you at on the Bears being maybe at least 50-50 as a run team this year? Because they keep on working on the run game over and over and over again, and we all have seen that the offense isn't quite where it's at right now. And so maybe they feel like their best path to winning games early is to keep the ball on the ground while they continue to understand the offense and just get this thing off the ground, if you will.
Like if I was Ben Johnson right now and you were asking me this question at the press conference, I know exactly what he would say. He would do whatever it takes to win. If that involves running the ball 40 times a game, he'll do it. If he's got to throw 40 passes because the game calls for it, he'll do it. I will say this though, Carm. There are signs that they could, I don't want to say dominant, but they'll be more than productive on the ground. More than productive. There's a couple runs during the short yardage situation where DeAndre Swift, I know I've said this before, is like one broken tackle away from a big game, but there he is, churning out 7-8 yards in the first down. It was good to see them own the line of scrimmage on the goal line, with Roschon Johnson scoring 2 touchdowns. And that is a defensive line that we've talked about having an outstanding camp from left to right across the board, outstanding camp for that defensive line. So to see the offensive line, including the rookie left tackle, kind of assert their will on the defensive line in that situation, that to me is a major positive at this point in camp.
Yeah, I thought that, especially
I agree.
Yeah, early on. First, people need to understand, because this was a community day. It wasn't open to a lot of fans, and well, the Jahns family got VIP treatment, though. We should point that out.
There was a good, solid VIP crowd in there, though. The bleachers were pretty full. They did tend to leave early. It was probably hot over there, and they were practicing on the wrong field again. Braggs, if you're out there, they were away from the fans.
Well, the fans moved. There wasn't. I don't care about today. Today, the fans were able to move. There was
Yeah.
There weren't that many of them there that was overfull. But my point is, you could feel the energy right away, Jahns. Like the way the offense and the defense started. But by the time they got down to the goal line for the first time, and I thought the offense got the best of the defense in that period of practice. And then the response from the defense I thought was good, because then they started pushing back in the later periods. Other than some of the sloppiness, delay a game, balls on the ground again, I'm sure Ben Johnson's not going to like that. But just the overall energy and the competitiveness and the back and forth. And I'll even point this out. Braxton Jones involved in a lot of the skirmishes today. Practice ended, and he walked straight over the defense and started trying to shake people's hands. So, I mean, that tells you that at the end of the day, practice is over. They're all on the same team.
I like that. The moment where I kind of thought that this was going to be a different practice was actually the play-action play, completion of the Cole Kmet, going away from the building, right? So towards the fans, Braggs, if you're listening, towards the fans in the end zone. And he is carrying multiple defenders.
Yeah.
It was a full-on gang tackle on Cole Kmet. Like, it took 3 or 4 guys to take him down. Usually there's a whistle and the play's dead. You have that many guys trying to take down a player on your own team, play's over. But to see Cole Kmet carry a couple guys for a few extra yards, that to me was the moment where, like, okay, this is going to be exactly what Ben Johnson said it was going to be. Probably what he wants it to be. This is going to be a physical practice.
There was a funny moment. One of the officials, after one of the skirmishes, looked over at us and goes, "I'm not getting in the middle of all that."
Yeah, nor should he. This was just dawned on me. Oh yeah, by the way, he did work for Dan Campbell, and this was your bite your ankle practice. Really, what we saw. I'm going to take you guys back, both of you, to August 4th, 2014. You know what I'm referencing in reference to today's physicality?
Ooh, Martellus Bennett tossing Kyle Fuller.
Gotta be.
So like that one moment is when comparing today, that's like the most physical moment I've ever seen in any Bears.
But you remember it, right?
Yeah, I do.
So does that add credence to what I'm saying, that we're going to remember this practice for a long time?
It does, but it also is like that moment I remember. I don't know if there's like one moment in this practice that I'll remember, other than like Major Burns smoking Joel Wilson, or to maybe the Cole Kmet play. Like that was an excellent underlining by you, because normally that play is blown dead 5 seconds earlier than it was, maybe even 10 seconds, and they didn't do it. But we didn't have that play today. I don't know. Do you remember what it was like back then in the Mark Trestman era?
Well, I remember that day like so vividly, because the defensive players were yelling intimidation factor like all practice, because Kyle Fuller was having outstanding camp. Obviously, he was the rookie first round pick, 14th overall selection, I believe. And so Lance Briggs, we bring it up with him later, because he may remember this day. And then like afterwards, after this, after the fisticuffs, after Kyle Fuller slammed by Martellus Bennett, it's Martellus Bennett doing interviews and showing zero remorse as he's discussing it. All the while, his general manager, Phil Emery, is just steps away, soaking all of this in. I think he got suspended for a day, right, Adam?
He did, yeah. Basically because of that, I think that he just was like, "No, I did it. I don't care," and there was no remorse whatsoever.
And then came later. When did that interview come out? It was the Bennett brothers, and Martellus was going back in time, revisiting that situation, and he was saying he did his impersonation of Brandon Marshall. When he was yelling at him during that thing. It's a great clip. It's out there on YouTube. Check it out. But yeah, that was quite the day down in Bourbonnais.
And then he got a foot rub with Mark Carman in New Orleans.
That was amazing. I love Martellus. It's a side note. That's
true what I just said, by the way.
That is true. And that was
a video of that too.
Yeah. Shout out to Martellus. Shout out. I went to the national championship that game. Burrow versus who was on the other side of that field? Burrow versus Trevor Lawrence and sat next to Cutler, and Cuddy served me a beer down there. Shout out Cuddy.
But here's where I want to bring this back to why I think this is important today. So the Martellus slamming Kyle Fuller whole deal ended up being sort of an example of Mark Trestman not really having control of the team. Today, I actually, other than the penalties, which
we should talk about that.
Which I think is what Ben Johnson's probably going to pull out of this practice and be like, "Yo, that wasn't good." We had multiple times where the running backs threw the footballs at the defenders. Penalty. That's taunting. You can't do that. A couple times guys tossed to the ground. Javon Dexter tossed Braxton Jones. Like, that was very impressive. That was a grown man throwing another giant human being and just like having him roll over, like flying away like Khalil Mack, used to do out there during games. But it's after the whistle, so that's a penalty. So I think those are the things that he's going to point at. But I think when it comes to discipline beyond just those being penalties, I didn't really feel like things got out of hand to the point where like you felt like Ben Johnson was losing the practice. Oh. If anything, I'm thinking of oh my God, I'm forgetting it. Help me out. A Miracle on Ice head coach, Herb Brooks, in the movie Miracle, where he's just going again. Like that's what I was picturing today. Is like, no, I don't care who's getting hurt. I don't care who's getting tossed. We're going live again. Do it again. Like just the whole practice. That's what it felt like.
Well, in that last situation, Ben Johnson did insert himself after I think Andrew Billings came running over after Javon Dexter suplex. I'm trying to remember. Was it a shove or was you got him down? You got him up in the air a little bit, Braxton Jones. But Ben Johnson came running over and ended that. To compare what happened in 2014, like I thought that got away from Mark Tressman a little bit. When Kyle Long swung his helmet in that night practice in the backfields of Halas Hall, I thought they got away from Matt Nagy a little bit. So just to compare and contrast like what we saw today, like part of this, guys, it's just this is what Ben Johnson wanted today. He could have called off the live hitting at any point. But instead you had live contact from first team to third team and nonstop. Now there were some periods where I think some players got the message. But as Carm said, to see Joel Wilson, like he was sent flying by Major Burns in the left flat, at least if you're a defensive player in the left flat. That was a hell of a hit.
Major Burns got my attention today. Dude made some plays. And Jahns Walker, the undrafted wide receiver, had a great day too. He caught a lot of passes.
He did. Hey, Nashon Wright, we got to talk to him today, Johnsy. What's your impression on where he's at in this whole cornerback situation?
Well, according to the unofficial depth chart, he is the number 2 cornerback. I think he's had a good camp. I think he's been a good story, but I still think Tyrique Stevenson is the favorite. When asked about the competition, I thought Stevenson felt a little shocked that it was even a suggestion because I think he's having a good camp too. Like one of the best open field tackles that we saw all day today was, again, a short yardage play where DeAndre Swift gets outside. Like he could bust this play, but it's one-on-one open field tackle. Tyrique Stevenson, one of those perfect textbook tackles in the open field that I think the defensive players will talk about at least when they review the film.
Yeah, that was a nice play. And just to clarify, so when John said number 2 cornerback, he's with the second team. The top 2 corners are listed as Jalen Johnson still and Tyrique Stevenson on that first team, and obviously Kyler Gordon being the nickelback. Right. With the second team, Nashon Wright. So technically he's listed behind Tyrique Stevenson on the depth chart that doesn't matter.
And he's also on the depth chart that doesn't matter. He's also listed behind Jalen, who's not there. So you would think that means that he's starting at this present moment.
All right, Johnson, before we let you go, the last thing we got to sort out here, I need your help. So I referred to the first little scrum in practice today as a brouhaha.
Ooh.
Okay, now I actually took notes on some of the phrases, the words that were thrown out there by fellow media members on the sideline.
Okay.
So we have fracas, we have skirmish, ruckus, and kerfuffle.
I like kerfuffle. It's a good one.
I like my 3 go-to ones are skirmish, kerfuffle, and fisticuffs.
Oof, we got to add that to the list. Where's my pen? I don't know where my pen is. This is bad.
That's never happened before in the history of Hoge. Guy always knows where his pen is.
Yes, I do.
We might have to stop the show. Steven.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Fisticuffs.
All right. I tweeted too many times today skirmish, and I should have asked, like, what can I say instead of skirmish? Because there were a lot of skirmishes. But it could have been a kerfuffle. It could have been a 1-2-9er.
Brouhaha.
Brouhaha. Yeah.
See, I actually looked up brouhaha, the actual definition. Learned that there's a U in that word. It is all one word. It is known as a noisy and overexcited reaction or response to something, which I felt like was actually what was happening in a lot of those. Now, once it got to the point where somebody was actually being tossed to the ground or a helmet was getting ripped off, maybe that goes beyond brouhaha. But for the most part, I think we saw a bunch of brouhahas.
Like quarrel could be one.
Quarrel added to the list.
Quarrel doesn't get used often.
It was a little bit more than a quarrel today, but there were some quarrels, but for the most part, it was much more closer to brouhaha or fisticuffs, really.
Eric in the chat says dust up. Dust up's been used before.
Yeah, no, that's good. Dust up.
Okay, I'm adding these to the list in our notes here on the side, so I won't forget to write them down. This is very important to me. We got to figure this out. All right, Jahns. Good stuff. Anything you want to promote or tell us about on the written side before we let you go?
Well, I have a full breakdown of everything we saw today, I think up tonight on ALLCITY.com. And then you and I have a piece coming out in a couple days.
Yes.
Maybe tomorrow, probably Thursday morning though.
Yeah, we're my annual look at the first impressions with the early impressions, whatever you want to call it, with the rookies, the draft class. Johnsy's joining me on this one this year, which is great. So we're going to get both of our early impressions on all of the draft picks and one bonus undrafted free agent.
I got a feeling I know who that's going to be.
ALLCITY.com. Become a diehard right now. Johnsy, great stuff. And again, we have a special episode of Hoge and Jahns coming out Thursday. So a little tease for that. You will not want to miss it. So that's the next episode of Hoge and Jahns. Thanks, Jahns.
See you, boys.
There he is. All right, before we take a break, we have another big money super chat we got to throw on the screen. I saw this one pop up earlier. 2 big money super chats here early on. Oh, it's our guy, Mark.
The GOAT.
Mark Gauthier out in the UK, who we got to meet in London last year. $50. Easy Old Chicago Bears fan club members are excited to see some preseason football. Hope to see lots of 17 on Sunday. Great offseason coverage. Shout out to Steven for being an outstanding producer. Hell yeah.
Well, GOAT, it was very interesting today, and we'll play Ben coming up on it, but he sort of opened the door that they might play some starters here in addition to 17 and obviously 11 and 16 as far as the quarterbacks go.
Yeah, we're going to have that conversation next, but good to know that the Easy Old Chicago Bears fan club is very excited for the preseason. You know who else is excited for the preseason?
The Bears?
Jeff Joniak.
Oh, yeah, he's got his little dance going on.
Check my Twitter account for the GIF that was taken from him being excited about. He literally did a dance for preseason football.
I tried to poke at the bear a little bit.
He came at me today.
Okay, because I
knew that was going to happen when I tweeted that.
I said, I love your GIF. He's like, I don't know what that is. I'm like, well, you better go see Hoge.
You sold me out.
Yeah. I said, well, you better go see Hoge.
I mean, he accused me of me trying to get him fired.
That's
just a little aggressive.
That's nobody could get Jeff Joniak fired. Jeff Joniak is the Bears.
That's what I told him.
Right.
And I told him everybody loves the dance. Mostly
we need more dancing from Jeff Joniak.
Right. Also, just in case none of that conversation was serious, so it's okay. But I do like the ongoing feud between Carm and Joniak, which I think I've created mostly in my mind. But
we were actually pals today for the most part. Although he just looked at me, it's like, "Where's Dan Pompey?" I'm like, "Okay, you don't want to talk to me. You want to talk to Pompey? I get it."
Somehow the Hall of Famer knew that it was going to be a big day at Halas. He knew when to show up. That's impressive.
Pompey influence.
Pompey shows up. They have the greatest practice since Lovie Smith.
Does anybody work out more than Dan Pompey? Guy's never not in the gym. Most in shape dude I've ever seen in my life.
All right, we're going to take a time out. We'll be right back with the rest of the show. We got a lot to bring up with Ben Johnson, some good comments from this morning, including what the plan might be for the preseason. A little bit of a TBD still, but I think the door got opened a little bit this morning and a little bit of a change. So we'll tell you all about that coming up next. But first, if you are looking for tickets to a game, to a concert, to a comedy show, whatever it is, Game Time is where you need to go. I was actually on the Game Time app yesterday, Carm, because I'm going to go to the Cubs game tomorrow. We have an off day. And it's kind of confusing on the Cubs website, honestly, where the heck tickets were and what. Game Time, it's totally intuitive. You can see everything available for you. They got zone deals.
Let's go Game Time.
I love Game Time. They also have killer last-minute deals, views from your seat, lowest price guarantee. You can save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater. Fees are included. I always toggle that on so I know my total is up front. There's no surprise fees when you get to the checkout spot. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHGO for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
And just like your favorite team needs that home court, home field, maybe the Cubbies can win at home advantage. You need the home floor advantage. And you know who's going to give it to you? That's right. It's our friends at Empire Today. They are the best in the business, and they want to come out to your home to help you upgrade your flooring. You can pick the right flooring, the right colors for your space in your home. See how it looked with your furniture in your house. Get precise measurements taken, all your questions answered, no surprises up front, all-inclusive pricing. Plus, you can schedule an installation as soon as the next day. This is the good stuff. You want your floors to feel and look good? Go with Empire Today. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. CHGO listeners, you get a $350 discount when you use the promo code CHGO. You heard that right. $350 off with that code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/CHGO for full details.
All right. Keeping things going here on CHGO. Appreciate the huge audience today. Make sure you hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you happen to be new. We do this every day of the Bears practice. We do it all season and all year, even during the dead periods. We are here for you, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. And
it's an excellent underlining. Nobody does the dead periods like we do the dead periods.
Ooh, we just went over 800 within the 86,800.
Let's get to 850 here. If you are not subscribed, it doesn't cost anything. Just a reminder. All you got to do is hit subscribe. And yeah, the like button is a great way to help out the show, and we greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you for being here as we.
Plus, it's not just this show. We have Hoge and Jahns twice a week. We have Brick by Brick, which is going to be out tomorrow. So even though we're off tomorrow with the Bears off day, Brick by Brick with Lance Briggs, Jerry Zuma, and Greg Braggs, that is coming your way tomorrow.
CHGO Cubs, CHGO Sox, CHGO Bulls, CHGO Hawks.
Absolutely. And yesterday we had Bears After Dark on top of Hoge and Jahns and CSGO Bears on a day where they didn't even have practice. So you're getting plenty of Bears stuff. You're getting plenty of Cubs coverage right now with the Cubs in a little bit of a divisional race that isn't going their way right now. We got you covered across the board. All right. Ben Johnson this morning. So he spoke before practice. So before everything went down. But let's start with the preseason plan because he was asked about that and what he thinks about playing starters, Caleb Williams, and I thought his answer was pretty interesting. So here's that exchange from this morning.
Yeah, so going into camp, I kind of had outlined in my head exactly the way I'd love it to play out. With in mind, we were going to revisit that each player day off. And so to answer your question, to be determined, I want to visit with the staff tomorrow and finalize that. I need to talk to Coach McDaniel tonight and just make sure we're on the same page with what Friday looks like. We've already had those discussions, but just nail that down, and then we'll be on to the game on Sunday after that. But first things first, we're focused on this practice, and then we'll make a decision on starters and who's playing what, how long, and all that.
What do you weigh? Blue, wave, white line?
Yeah, well, just because you play in the preseason, sometimes you take reps away from what you'd like to do before or after the game, going into the game or coming out of the game. And so we've been very strategic with trying to maximize our reps. We felt like offensively, defensively, the amount of reps that we're getting is really what we need right now as a team so that we're learning and we're growing. And, maybe those are out on the grass under the lights. Maybe those are in a practice setting. So that's what we'll come to a decision as a staff on.
So I could be wrong about this, but
read between the bend. What do you got?
Yeah, read between the bend. That should be a new segment.
Sounds to me like they're going to play more, but who knows?
Well, my instinct, and this kind of matches with what I thought we heard on the first day of camp on report day. We said the same thing on that show that day. That it felt like in an ideal world, Ben Johnson doesn't want to have to play his starters a whole bunch in the preseason.
Agreed.
It also matches what Jared Goff did in Detroit, where he barely played in the preseason. I think he's played like 2 games in the last 4 years or something like that. So
different situation, but okay.
100%. Yes. But that's what he's used to, right? That's what Ben Johnson's used to. So I'm trying to read between the lines. I'm sort of guessing here, but it sounds like to me, ideally not playing the starters. After what I've seen after 2.5 weeks here, might need to get them in some games so we can get to where we need to be for that Vikings game. I don't know that it necessarily means they play this week. So we'll see. I take him at his word. He doesn't know right now that he's going to talk to Mike McDaniel tonight. They're going to talk about what exactly is going to go down Friday and have a better idea of how they're going to plan. Because the second part of that answer was important too. The reason why coaches don't necessarily like to play players in preseason games, yes, it has to do with injuries, but it also has to do with the fact that they can't control what they're working on always. You don't have you don't really have control over the situations and stuff like that. So hey, you might be presented with a 2-minute drill, which is great, cool experience in a game. Now you might have drilled that 10 times already at this point of the preseason. You might want to work more on goal line and short yardage and only get 1 rep in the entire game with 1/3 and 1. So just the fact that you can't control all that is why coaches get away with that. I think there's a give and take. So it would not shock me based on the answer today if we end up seeing Caleb Williams in the starters. If not this week against the Dolphins, maybe they give it 1 more week and then they see where they're at next week. And it might be, we might have to play them against the Bills.
That makes sense. And I also think, at least for me, let's not overthink this. Today at practice, there were 7 false starts, 5, 3. It was more than 3.
I had 3 down.
Okay.
It
Well,
was like in 4 plays.
3 happened in 4 plays in about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So look, it just hasn't been good enough. So not overthinking it. If I'm Ben Johnson, I'm not going to show you anything, but I am going to put you out there in a preseason game so you line up and you can actually like get through getting the ball off, and so we can get into our offense and just you can go and hand it off to DeAndre Swift and we'll run 3 plays and maybe we'll let you throw it once with Caleb. And I might even, if it was me, I would you're going to play a quarter, dude, because listen, you're a second-year quarterback in a brand new system and we're not there yet, and I'm going to use this opportunity. But we are in today's NFL. It's just kind of fun to think about. I'm going to get with Mike McDaniel. I'm like, oh, yeah, they're playing the Dolphins and they're practicing against the Dolphins. And he's literally going to get he's talking to his own coach.
Yeah.
What do you want to do on Friday? How do you want to go about this? This is a different NFL than what it used to be, as far as we're going to have a joint practice and we're going to get on the same page, how we're going to do this, and we're getting each other ready. It's just different how it's being viewed, the preseason and the joint practices nowadays.
Some other breadcrumbs to sort of piece together here. One is what we saw today. I'm not saying this was completely like a real game, but there are guys like Roschon Johnson. We saw Cole Kmet get hurt. Plenty of those linemen that are hitting some ice baths that are going to go through full recovery. They're going to come in on their off day tomorrow for recovery.
Yep.
And Thursday will probably be a lighter day, but I would imagine I don't think there's going to be pads on Thursday. Friday, though, we know what's coming. So if you go through today's practice, Friday is going to be a physical, maybe as physical. I'm guessing that the Dolphins probably won't want to go to the lengths that the Bears did today, but it's still going to be a padded physical practice against a different team on Friday. You're going to add to that a preseason. That's a lot in one preseason week at this time in the year. So I'm still plus, and this could obviously change based on what Ben decides to do. Right now, there's at least a light practice scheduled for Monday, the day after the game, which I've never seen.
Yeah, 3:00 on Monday. They're supposed to get after it. Yeah, you make a very good point. In 1 week, are you going to kick the crap out of each other on what's today? Tuesday. You're going to kick the crap out of each other on Tuesday, Friday, and you can do it again on Sunday. Well, they're not going to play.
Some guys are going to have to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You still got the 2s and 3s that are going to have to play.
Right. Theo Bennett and Tyler Scott and whoever else is, and I mean, I would assume that Kyle Monunga is going to get a bunch of carries. You would think. I mean, maybe they'll go deeper into the depth chart there, down to 35 and everybody else. But yeah,
can I make one random off-topic point too that I keep forgetting to make? Maybe I have
sure.
said this.
What do you got?
I really want to see Austin Reed ball out these preseason games.
Great man.
I feel bad for him.
Why?
He gets no reps in practice. He's on the team. He wants an opportunity just like everybody else does to show what he could do.
Well, then last year in the preseason, it rained in the middle of the
right.
Yeah.
And so look, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of the 2025 Chicago Bears, but I personally want to see Austin Reed have some success.
You're a caring Hoge. That's super adorable. We care about you, Austin Reed.
He needs to be able to show the league what he can do if he can do it.
Well, I think he's going to get his chance.
Okay.
They got 3 preseason games. So,
yeah, I told you that was going to be a random thought. All right.
Next.
Steven, I'm going to change the order here just a little bit because I think we're more on the topic of the offense and the quarterback. So let's do this. He was asked an interesting question today, Ben, was about being perfect and trying to achieve perfection. And I thought he gave a really good answer on that. And then plus there was a follow-up question on where the offense is right now. So let's go with that cut first because I thought that was a super interesting answer from Ben Johnson.
It's not going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. So I know we want everything to be right in line every single time, but a message to the unit is we're going to have mess ups, we're going to have mistakes, and I think the bad teams, they come on out there and you say, oh, we're just one off on this play, and then another guy takes his turn, we're one off on this play, and then you go and it just looks terrible. Where really the good teams, when they have mistakes, their buddies cover it up for them. So if a lineman happened to do miss a block, then the back is going to make the guy miss and end up still springing a big run, or protection breaks down and the quarterback can break the pocket and extend the play, and we can still have positive results. And so that's where, you talk about the perfection part of it. I don't quite see it that way. I think we need to complement each other.
What was the question?
Wait, what's that mean? The moment.
I asked a question and then that happened. So maybe I caused that to happen. Siri, are you doing this to us? What's happening right now? I bet it's never happened in the history of the show. Thank you, Ben. We're not looking for perfection. I don't know. Steven, what just happened? You have any idea?
I don't know.
It sounded like a commercial started playing.
It did.
Yeah.
Come on.
You have your tabs
Diehard
closed,
YouTube.
maybe?
If you end up getting the second part of that answer, please let me know.
I'll get it.
But I can react to that first part right now. I like that answer because I'll tell you what, very few times, even in the NFL, are you going to actually run a play where all 11 people do their job to full execution.
Can you remind me what the exact question when it was asked that got that answer? Do you remember?
I don't remember. It was like referring to, it was just about the idea that you can achieve perfection.
Oh, okay.
Which my point is,
well, that's not happening.
It's
what he just said.
In football, it's just, you're not going to have, because if all 11 guys on the field were to do their job full execution on one play, that means the other 11 on the other team, all of them failed at the same time.
Right.
So the point is, on any given play, someone's going to F up or not win their one-on-one. And so the coaches that sit there in the film room on Monday and go, well, we were one block off here and we were 1 yard here off. And if this one play, and you just play that what if game constantly, Ben's point is that's not going to happen a lot where you can actually say it was perfect. So who's going to step up and cover up their teammate? So when that one block is off, either some other guy chips them or the running back just makes a miss. I thought that was a very important point that I don't hear a lot of coaches talk about that.
Well, right. That's called having a lot of talent on your team because you're not just doing what you're required to do. You're doing extra things because you're just that good at football, which the Bears do have a lot more players that are capable of that this year. Let's remind ourselves that the roster is a lot better than last year.
All right. I think we have that second part of that, which is more about where how deep you can go in the playbook with this team right now. And this was a notable answer too.
To complement each other better, as a unit right now. And so that's what we're learning from. And the guys are still thinking a lot. They're not playing maybe as fast as they can. And over the course of camp, we'll see that play speed pick up.
And Ben, at the beginning of camp, you talked about, we don't know whether we're an outside zone team yet or we're going to run inside. As you get through this last install, what does your run game look like in terms of, are you getting a better sense of what you're good at?
Yeah, I think we got a bunch of really smart individuals up front. And so our volume is going to be able to be pretty healthy. I think we're going to be able to carry a lot into games. A combination of running off the ball in our wide zone scheme. And I think we've got some guys that can create movement in the gap scheme game as well. So inside, outside, I think we have backs that can get it on the perimeter and make things happen out there. And then I think the exciting thing for me is we got some quarterbacks that are pretty athletic players as well that maybe they can do some damage on the ground as also.
Did you hear that, Hoge?
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Oh, we got to say it because somebody brought it up to me because I didn't hear it the first time.
Mm-hmm. Then he said quarterbacks, plural.
We've got some quarterbacks that are mobile.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he could have said
Would
quarterback.
it shock you if Ben Johnson, of all coaches, put two quarterbacks on the field at the same time?
Woo! Woo!
Because surely in your head, I know where you're going. some quarterback controversy.
I don't think there's a controversy. I just think there's one guy that's playing really well.
Okay, well, let me tell you, there's not a quarterback controversy. But what I think is more relevant on that conversation is even if Caleb might not be getting everything right now, that was a pretty strong endorsement of at least the other 10 players on the field and what they can handle and the volume that they can handle in the playbook, especially in the run game, which Caleb should be able to handle, right?
Yes.
Get to the right run, hand the ball off, and everybody do their job in the run game. So between the backs and the offensive line, which should be better, right? I thought that was a pretty interesting answer. Like, we are going to be able to pick and choose and carry a lot of things into our game plans.
Right. It's a challenge though for him too, right? Because when he's talking about running wide, you're thinking, well, that's DeAndre, and if you're running in between the tackles, that's more Kyle and that's more Roshan. So how do you do that without being quite obvious of what's coming, depending on who's in the backfield? But they do have some, they have a different skill set in there, and we saw it today. Maybe we don't have to get creative at all. That's right. Roshan's back there. We're at the goal line. We're going to go hat on hat, and we're going to knock you into the end zone, and we're going to score a touchdown because we're that good at football.
Yep. All right, a couple more clips to get to real quick, and then we'll hit overtime and hit all your supers. I know we got a lot today, so I want to get to all of them here on CHGO, again, presented to you by Circa. They've been presenting, empowering our training camp coverage, all of training camp. And we got an awesome event. Do not miss it this Friday at American Place Casino. It's the Circa Sportsbook at American Place Casino. Friday, we're going to have a live show after that joint practice against the Dolphins. So whether you're there or not, coming out as we talk about it, and we're going to do an hour show and then an hour just kind of hanging out with you, talking about the team as well.
And then then Brad's going to stay there till 3 a.m. drinking with you if you want.
Well,
right.
I might too. It's Friday night.
Yeah, there you go.
Saturday's an off day.
Saturday's an off day. Let's go.
Or I might immediately go to the lake.
No, you're staying all night. Let's go.
All right. Let's hear look, regardless of what fun we have here with Tyson Bagent and Carm's whatever happening there.
I'm not even having any fun.
There was a
I'm having some fun right there. That was fun.
Yeah, you're having some fun there. There was a very notable comment from Ben Johnson on Tyson Bagent today when he was asked about the number 2 quarterback competition.
Man, he's been phenomenal. I mean, he's smart as a whip. Appreciate the seriousness and intent that he brings every time he walks into a room. Meeting room, walk through, it doesn't matter. He's locked in. He's focused. I think his teammates feel that from him. Love the fact, he'll throw the ball and he keeps working through his progressions just so it goes home with exactly where everyone's going to be in case he had to move on. I think he's taking this seriously. He's preparing the right way, and I couldn't be more thrilled that he's here with us.
Carm.
I mean, I'm just washing over me. I couldn't be more thrilled that he's here with us. Me too, Ben. Me too. Look, it was interesting when they signed Case and people were like, Carman Bagent's going to be the 3 and this and that. And I said at the time, you're underrating Tyson's ability to connect with coaches. Coaches are going to love a guy that goes about his business the way that Tyson does. And, you hear Declan Doyle talking about this guy loves football. And here comes Ben. This guy loves football. And he's thrilled because he goes about things the right way. Football is the most important thing in his life by probably 10 million miles. So none of this is surprising. He's had a very good camp. We'll see, what this all looks like as far as how much, they play in the preseason games and if there still is a competition going on there. But Bragg said this well the other day. Look, the bottom line is the best thing for the Bears by a million miles is that Caleb is great and you never hear from Bagent again. However, if something does go wrong with Caleb, has to miss a couple of games, the fact that the Bears have actually developed a young quarterback the right way, has played a little bit, all these things is a huge credit actually to Ryan Poles. Identified someone, dude came in here, made the team, goes about his business the right way, has learned, and if he is forced to play this year, the guy's going to be ready to step in and play well. Would be my guess.
I think the Bears are one of the best backup quarterbacks in the league. I think Tyson. I think there will come a time, whether it's due to an injury or because Tyson Bagent has played himself into a starting role on a different team at some point, where Tyson Bagent is going to get his chance in this league. And I think he has the mental makeup, the physical makeup and the desire to be a starter in this league. I want that to be made very, very clear.
Yeah.
the Bears have to run the course with Caleb Williams, obviously, here. So it's just sort of an unfortunate situation for him. But my official opinion on Tyson Bagent is I think he can be a starter in this league, and I hope at some point we all get to witness it. And the Bears are set at quarterback. They're in a good spot. Quickly, become a diehard. ALLCITY.com. You can also go to hogeandjahns.com to get access right there. If, either one of them works. Become a diehard. Get all our access. Get all our practice reports. All of our diehard content. We'll hit your super chats as we go into OT. And before we get to those supers, there was one more cut on Tyrique Stevenson, who was part of the storyline today because he also had a press conference. He was also involved in practice today, made a couple nice plays, was also in coverage on a play where Caleb hit DJ Moore on I thought it was a really good ball with good timing. So we got to hear from Tyrique Stevenson today, but Ben Johnson addressed Tyrique's status with the team, which is obviously an ongoing storyline, and it's a big year for him. And this was an interesting answer from Ben Johnson on, I guess, who we're calling CB2 right now.
Yep, that's right.
He's an awesome person. I think that's what stands out first and foremost. He's got quite a personality. He's good to talk to. I think he works hard. He's sometimes he talks a little bit too much. You got to tell him to be a little bit quiet, but he's a guy that you want on your side. He's, like I said, he understands this is a big year for him. It really is. Going into year 3 is kind of make it or break it for a lot of guys, and he understands that. I think he's approaching this the right way. The competition that we've had in that room has been really good for not only him, but the rest of the guys, and I'm excited for the direction he's headed right now.
Oh, it's so refreshing.
It really
Just
is.
answers like that.
Yeah.
He's a great person. We want him on our side. Sometimes he talks too much. We got to bring him back in.
Well, Tyrique actually said that. He's like, look, I just want to be better. We're not gonna play any Tyrique Davis. I want to be better at when I didn't try as hard as I possibly could have, and when I got caught up in this and that. He was pretty damn honest.
I'm just picturing though John Fox addressing the idea that it's a big year for Tyrique Stevenson, or really any player, where he'd just be like, it's a big year for everybody.
Right.
That's what he would say.
Yeah.
How many coaches would just say that instead of,
right?
It's a big year for Tyrique Stevenson. Yeah. We know this. He knows this. It's not a secret.
It would have been even better, but it's basically saying, look, last year this guy was talking to the Washington Commanders fans and literally set the Bears into a 10-game losing streak. His NFL life, his status as being a viable guy that people can trust on, it's a huge year for him because he is talented enough to do it, but he's got to button up his stuff a little bit. And wow, Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen and company, huge gift for Tyrique.
Yeah, it's good to see. All right, let's get to the super chats. I know we got some big ones. I know we got some new diehards that are looking for shout outs from Carm.
God bless.
Still,
I got you.
It's still amazing people sign up for those, but you know,
it's the greatest thing that I can do is to honor the people that support us.
Yeah.
Right, Katie? Thank you.
Katie Langen, our awesome Hoge Jahns producers here today. Bradley Hassey. I think I got that right on the first time.
The Hassey.
That's big. $5. I think he's just throwing in $5. I don't know if there's a comment with that, but we appreciate it.
Thank you, Bradley.
Jeff, $5. I'm going to the Vegas game, but coming from Maryland, so I got my own flight and hotel. Is there a way to get access to the other events and tickets? Get this question a lot. I think you have.
It's up now.
Well, it has been too. So here's the deal. If you're coming from somewhere else, you do not have to get your flight through True Van Travel. You can book the hotel only package. However, if you book your own hotel, you do not have the full package in all the events. What you can buy separately is the tailgate happening before the game. That is available, I think, both on our events page at allchgo.com and when you actually go through the True Fan Travel website, you can purchase that separately. That has been up there. It's all inclusive. It's a good time. We did it in Vegas last year. It was a little bit different for Arizona, but we did one for Arizona and it was packed with Bears fans. The other events, some of the events are going to be the package only events. I do not know at this time if you will be able to buy them individually. I think London last year, you actually were able to buy the boat cruise separately, or at least one of them was only for the group coming on the whole thing. I cannot promise that to you. I am not in control of all that, so I don't know.
Boat cruise is a great time.
What I do know is that this thing's You can come with your own flights, but the hotel thing's differently. You can always cancel your current hotel and buy the True Fan Travel deal if you want to. But the answer is yes, you could buy tickets to the tailgate separately. I don't know about the other events, and I don't know if that's going to change.
And just a reminder, you're in Vegas, so the nights can get long, but this is a 3:25 kickoff. You're gonna need that tailgate. You're gonna want that tailgate. You want to be involved in our tailgate.
Do the math on the time change there, buddy.
It's 1 hour.
It's a 1:25 kickoff.
2 hour difference?
Yes, in Vegas.
Didn't know that.
But even if you still weren't doing it right because you said 3:25, which is where it kicks off in Chicago.
It's an hour and a half later than a normal kickoff time in Vegas. But Bears fans, they'll have the Bears clock. It'll feel like 3:25. Just go with it. You need this tailgate.
Well, you do need the tailgate.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's the point.
It's actually great. That's a great start time, honestly.
Fantastic
West
start.
Coast people get the 1:25 start. It's great. All right, Bear Down, New Mexico. I believe the NM is for when I'm looking at that avatar properly. It says, I'm a new diehard. I need that Carm shout out.
So Bear Down, New Mexico. Is that what we're giving?
I hope it really is New Mexico.
Or just NM. The nails made him tough. The nails. Bear Down. Let me tell you something. The fact that you waited to this very moment on the most physical day of Bears practice to drop on in here with this, that just shows that you capture the moment. You've always captured the moment. You've waited for your right time to pop up, and then you just do it when no one really expects it, and then you lead us to victory. And Bear Down, that's why you are a diehard, and we're happy to have you, buddy. Thank you.
There you go. All right. Well, we're happy you're on board. Garden Hoser, $5. This is a funny one. Had to explain my Hoge avatar to my girlfriend today. Interesting convo for those that are listening to the podcast. Garden Hoser's avatar is the resting Hoge face picture. If you haven't seen it before, then subscribe to YouTube. You'll see it eventually. We show it all the time. But there it is. He said, I had to explain my Hoge avatar to my girlfriend today. That was an interesting combo. Anyways, happy Tuesday, and I hope practices look great. Keep up the great work, CHGO. Bear down.
Is that Courtney behind you there?
Yes.
She's all smile. You can see her smiling while you're just miserable.
Yeah. My hair's on point though, at least in that one. I like that. That's good. Good stuff. All right. Marcus Escobedo is up next. $5. Bear down. How you all feeling about the media attacking Caleb Williams recently? Almost like they all agreed to run with the video of him missing targets. I'm gonna try not to go on a rant about this, but the
it's just not true.
The word media has expanded to, and I'm not even saying it's inaccurate, but we're somehow grouping national reporters, national analysts, local reporters, local analysts, local bloggers, local fake bloggers, local / national random YouTube shows, not unlike this one. I'm not trying to, I'm just saying all of this has now been encompassed under media. So if any one of those things I just mentioned takes one random video from practice the other day and makes a big deal out of it, we all get accused of jumping on Caleb Williams. Am I right?
I guess.
That's what happens, though. And it's just it's not real.
And no one is jumping on Caleb Williams. Caleb, in my mind at least, you cannot find people who are like, yeah, Caleb's terrible. Like, I mean, sure, on some corner of the internet you can, but is Brad Biggs writing that? Is Dan Weeder writing that? Is Kevin Fishbane writing that? Is Adam Jahns writing that? Are people on the radio saying that? Are people? Is this show saying that? No. Come on. I think there's a lot of goodwill for Caleb at this point still.
I think locally it's been very objective, very fair. Good days, bad days, good throws, bad throws. That video that came out without full context, which Jahns explained yesterday on Hogan Jahns, the point of that drill and everything, I think was unfortunate. Stuff like that goes viral. And I sort of understand without context why that then gets taken out of context in certain things. But
I would also remind you that just because something goes viral, it really doesn't matter. Here today, gone tomorrow. Like that it's just a moment in time.
Right. Kind of like Mike McDaniel said in his press conference yesterday.
Is that what he said?
Did you hear that?
I missed it.
He said it's not a good morning, it's a great morning. And a reporter followed up and said, why is it a great morning? He said, because we're all one day closer to death.
Okay.
The head coach of the Miami Dolphins coming to Halas Hall later this week.
We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. Enjoy your days, damn it.
Quackinator 100, $5. Hopping on the show late, but want to throw my hat in the ring for joining hashtag Team Carm. Still killing it in the press conferences every day.
Quackinator, you are my Quackinator, and let's quack together soon. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You did do a good job today.
Did I?
I don't know.
I mean, I got in there with Roshan. I got in there with Tyrique. I failed on Ben. I tried 3 times. Whiffed. It's like, am I supposed to? Do I need to scream from the second row? Is that what I got to do to get in? Apparently, I do. It's annoying.
It's kind of like Jeopardy. It's kind of like being on Jeopardy.
See,
you gotta hit the button at the right time.
It's another thing too, because everyone's working on the timing issue. They're clipping the answers now. We're constantly.
That's true.
It's happening a lot. It's annoying.
I accidentally did that to Hightower yesterday. I take full responsibility for it, but I did get my question in. Bragg's in the stands, $2. What were the left tackle reps today?
A lot of Braxton Jones.
Great question. By whoever that is, Bragg's in the stands. No, it was we saw a mixture. That's what was interesting to me. We saw Ozzy in there early. We saw Braxton Jones in there later. At one point, Braxton Jones was running with the threes. Like, I think they were trying to manage his load today, with coming off the leg injury still on what was a very physical day. But Braxton Jones practiced a lot. He was involved in the skirmishes. And as I pointed out earlier in the show, I love that he was the first guy in there trying to shake the defense's hand when practice was all over. Like, we're still all a team.
Yeah.
So
you don't get to do your dunk on I told you Ozzy Trapillo dance yet today, Gregory. You'll have your day, but it ain't yet.
It wasn't today. But yeah, so that's the best way I can answer that. They're both involved with the first team reps. Splash it. $2. Austin Reed is our Brock Purdy. Caleb equals Trey Lance. Okay.
Austin Reed. Wow.
That might have been the most wasted $2 ever spent.
Nah, great job. I think that's fantastic.
We appreciate it. Doug Fisher, new diehard. Need a shout out from Mark. He's karmical.
Doug, let me tell you something. When I look at you and I think about great men, I see a speckle of a gray in the avatar right there. You look good, buddy. You look ready, and we are thrilled that somebody in my age range has joined us here as a great diehard. Thank you so much. And let me tell you something, Doug. To not do too much of a play on your name, but I would love to get in a boat with you and hang out, catch a couple fish, and talk Bears. So hit me up in the Discord. Let's talk. Let's have lunch. Me, you, and Crystal, who was phenomenal last night. Actually, she was just very tired, but grinded her way through a softball victory.
Yeah, let's shout that out for the
one-run
podcast
game.
Listeners. Crystal with the chat here comments, since we're coming to an end, CHGO softball with a win last night. She said, was not my best game. I was exhausted, but we pulled it off.
You know who Crystal was like yesterday? It was sort of similar to Dio Dangbo. Who didn't have his best press conference. He was just a little bit tired. It was not a, oh, dang, Bo. It was more of a, oh, dang, Bo kind of presser. And that was Crystal last night. But both ended up getting the victory in the end and came through when you needed us. And we love Crystal. And we entered the playoffs as the 2 seed. Big game next Monday, 9 o'clock, Hoge. You're invited. 9 o'clock. Perfect time for you. It's my birthday. You can come out for my birthday present, play in the softball game.
Okay.
There you go. We'll get drinks afterwards, go to the Moonlighter, hang out. Crystal had a sandwich last night. I should have bought Crystal sandwich last night. That's a bad job by me. Poor coordination. But, my birthday next Monday. Let's go.
All right. That's enough of that. I'm not coming.
He just found on his thing that he has to, change the light bulbs.
Actually, I'm trying to do some real reporting here before we go.
Oh, are you?
Yes.
What's going on?
Just stay tuned. I'll say that. ALLCITY.com. I'll check out my Twitter too. Hopefully, I have an update people want. We'll find out. We got information flowing all the time. We got shows going every day, except for tomorrow because it's an off day. But we still have a show because it's Brick by Brick Day.
It's Brick by Brick Day.
Lance Briggs, Jerry Azuma, Greg Braggs, they'll be coming with you tomorrow with a show. I'm assuming it's in the evening. I don't know the exact time off the top of my head right now. But
what time's the show, Greg?
I do know it's going to be on tomorrow.
We're thinking we might put it on at noon.
Ooh, that's a good. I like that.
Yeah, cover the old.
So we
time
give you
slot.
your noon show on an off day. Otherwise, I like that.
We had some questions for Lance Briggs that I hope that Greg addressed like the great Gregory that he is.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Pizzatola says another great show from Steven and Hoge. I agree. Steven was on point today.
He was amazing.
And
whatever, Pizzatola.
Yeah. And one thing we forgot to mention, Jordan Addison officially suspended 3 games. So the Vikings will be without their number 2 wide receiver
I'd go to
that opener against the Vikings. And Justin Jefferson. Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson. We can get there. See, that's why Jeff Joniak's got the dancing gif, and he's the voice of the Bears.
Well, if I were you, I'd go on Circus Sports Illinois right now. I'd download that app, and I would bet the Bears on opening night. Let's go.
Wow. How about that for some Carm optimism? And very awkwardly, Brawl Sack. It's $10 to end the show.
Brawl Sack, congratulations.
Oh, he said, whoops, forgot the message. Shameful pain for a shout out. No, it's not. You got your shout out.
Brawl Sack, we're proud of you. And by the way, NFL Week 1, let me just give you sorry, am I messing up here? Bears, what do you think the spread is for Bears Vikings?
Bears by 2.5.
The Bears are a 1.5 point underdog.
Underdog.
You're getting 1.5 right now. I'm betting it right now. I'm betting it.
Okay.
Yeah, I am.
I don't know why I thought they were favored.
They're an underdog at home. Bring it on there,
right.
Vegas.
Carm's betting on Circa right now. Speaking of Circa, Friday, we're going to be there. Circa Sportsbook, American Place Casino. Come on out Friday, August 8th, 5 to 7 o'clock. We're going to have a live show after that joint practice against the Dolphins. Then we're going to hang out for a little bit after that as well. Should be a fun way to spend your Friday night. Thanks for being here today. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe. Make sure you tune in for Brick by Brick tomorrow. We'll be back Thursday with another post-practice show. And then the big one, of course, Friday happening at American Place Casino with Circa. We will, it's going to be a fun week. Plus a pre- and post-game show on Sunday. Just kind of freaking me out already. So we're out of here.
Up.
Talk to you Thursday.
Y'all silly like the mayor.